This week we advance. From the battlefield to the soul of this country, progress must and is being made. The giant Grant awakes from his winter slumber, as General Sherman makes South Carolina howl. With the 13th Amendment now in the hands of the states, the federal government looks for other opportunities to ensure liberty and freedom is given to all. Starting this week with Virginia, General Grant again moves to destroy General Lee's supply lifeline, stretch his defenses to a breaking point. The 2nd Corps and the Federal Cavalry of General Gregg approach Hatcher's Run, which is captured by the 2nd Confederate Corps of General John Gordon. The 5th they skirmish, the 6th rebels move against our Union corps, and the battle rebel commander John Pegram is killed. The 7th, the battle ends with Federal reconnoitering, deciding not to continue the attack. Casualties are hard to determine. Grant's 7th Petersburg battle ends in defeat. To the Wild West, the Nebraska Territory, one lieutenant colonel engages with the Cheyennes and their allies. I don't have a pithy transition. General Sherman's Savannah campaign was a success. Now it's time for his next great adventure. The 4th sees skirmishing across southern South Carolina, the Grand Advance. General Beauregard is asked by Davis to concentrate forces in Augusta, Georgia, which is not a priority target. As the week continues and Sherman crosses creeks, streams, and swamps, it becomes increasingly clear that Charleston isn't under threat. Not so clear to the Confederates. The 10th, at James Island, the two sides clash, and General Hardee, whose command is centered at Charleston, begins to fear for the future. Moving to the better Carolina, General John Schofield takes over the Department of North Carolina, preparing for the Battle of Wilmington. President Lincoln returns to the White House following the failed attempt at a peace conference. He once again reminds both General Grant and Stanton to not falter for a moment because of the conference. The next day, he floats a plan to compensate slave owners for emancipation. Unanimously, it is shot down. Ending the week with a final defeat, he signs an act of Congress denying the right of the seceded states to representation in the Electoral College. The continuing battle over Reconstruction has gone from radicals against moderates to the executive versus the legislative branch. Ending the week, reporting to Congress of the fate of the conference, which goes unnoticed. His rival Davis isn't doing any better. The 6th, he receives his commissioners from the conference. He then reports to Congress.
Nothing less would be accepted than unconditional submission to the government and laws of the United States.
With peace no longer an option, he shores up his military. John C. Breckinridge has gone from representative to vice president to general, and now he is tapped for Secretary of War. His main role is coordinating with General-in-Chief Robert.E.Lee, who assumes duties the same day, a very late promotion. Lee's first move is to restore manpower, proposing an amnesty for deserters in exchange for returning to duty. Davis immediately signs off on it. On the topic of promotions, the 8th, Surgeon Martin Delaney becomes Major Delaney, the first African American to receive a regular Army commission. We'll also see a change of command, with Raphael Semmes, former commander of the CSS Alabama, becoming a rear admiral and taking over the Confederate vessels on the James River. Let's end this week with the 13th Amendment, and I want to address some discrepancy. Two of my trusted sources have different dates for ratification than the Library of Congress, most glaring over my home state of Missouri. I suspect a conspiracy to place Missouri as ratifying on the 10th instead of the 6th, as a global move to discredit us by placing us behind Kansas, our eternal rivals. The next day, Maine, Massachusetts, and that other state, not Virginia, and ending the week, Ohio. But what really is interesting, back to the 7th, Delaware rejects the amendment. It will eventually come around next century. Why? I don't know. Some say it was due to claims of federal overreach or the small but wealthy lobbying of slave owners, but all of these claims are unsourced. Nicholas Time, his stay in a tropical shanty, opens his eyes. The trip to the seat of power isn't for a few weeks. In the meantime, the distinct lack of American forces facilitating the vital trade between California and the East Coast. He writes to Secretary Seward on the 5th, asking for the presence of a small squadron in the Caribbean Sea. That's where the week ends. I would like to focus on the 13th Amendment. We have gone from counting votes in Congress to states. The number we need is 27. Right now we are at 13. It's going to be close. With the rejection by Delaware, lack of legal legislatures, the ratification is going to be down to the wire. Reconstructed states will be needed to ensure no man will be a slave. Hi, it's Jonathan Teagan, the entire Civil War Week by Week team. I'd like to thank you as we enter the new year and as the last couple months come counting down. It means a lot, and I know we are all excited to see how this war ends. I hope you come along for the journey, and I hope to really see you next week.